you?
It's good. It's good to be here with you, Lisa. And Carrie Rose, thanks so much for moderating this today.
It's so great. I'm excited that we have this technology that we can be together in our living rooms or in our offices.
Yeah, I mean, are you having just I'm having the most interesting Zoom happy hours and get-togethers with my family. We're going to do Easter brunch, all 14 of my brothers and sisters and kids.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new
It is.
world.
Truly is. I mean, nobody, I suppose there are enough dystopian future science fiction films out there and television shows that we could kind of pretend that we knew this could be coming.
Right.
But to find yourself in the middle of it is unsettling, to say the least.
It is. And, I feel like it goes up and down. Some days you're okay with it and it seems normal. And then other days you wake up going like, I can't leave my house today. There were 2 Amber Alerts, and what, what's going on? And how are we going to keep our business going? And, that's really kind of a lot of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I just like to start off by saying, okay, if you hear weird teenage screams, those are my kids. And I apologize in advance. I don't know why they're screaming right now, but it's the friends and they're socializing. But anyway, I just wanted to say, Christine, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I really hope to make you proud. So thank you.
I'm thrilled that you are stepping into this role because I just couldn't imagine anybody more well suited for it. Lisa, you've been so incredibly well positioned in the industry in our state, having worked for the film office for all the years that you did and the capacity that you did. You know all the players, you've got a great idea about what's coming down the pike, and also how to position ourselves, especially women in the industry, in the most advantageous way. And that's who we want at the helm of this organization. So very excited about this new chapter. And congratulations. I think it's going to be a great brave new world for women in film.
Well, thanks. And I will not be doing it alone. That I am really excited about the board and just fantastic women. To me, it doesn't get any better to have a challenge, meet the challenge with some really incredible people that are powerhouses, friends, colleagues. They're working women in the industry. We had our first board meeting the other night, and it was just, dynamic to hear from all of these people and their excitement. And I know they're going to bring a lot to it. And our, main goal, as always, is to further women in this industry and in our state and make a mark here, and really talk about the issues that are important to us, and fairness and parity and equality in our industry, and also how we're going to get there. And at the same time, education, fundraising to help people make their projects, all different kinds of ideas. It's a new frontier. And we have our foundation. We have weaker areas in the foundation and stronger areas, and we're going to try to build upon the strong things and really find solutions for the ones we need to work on. And I'm excited. I'm thrilled.
That's so great. One of the things that I loved being on the board for the almost 5 years that I was doing it. Actually, I was on the board for 5 years, and president for about over 4.5. But in that time, not only did I feel like I started to make a difference, like the organization really started to, the organization's mission is a great one to be aligned with. It's exciting. It's very proactive. You feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And I love that. I loved all the pillars of education and networking and mentorship. Those were great in developing them out. And I have to say that the biggest thing I walked away with are the relationships that I created with the other women in this organization.
Well, as you know very well, this industry is all about relationships, and that's how we get jobs. That's how we, get change to happen. We have to align ourselves with, the government, all the unions, all the workers, the public at large, our representatives. It takes a village to get things done, for sure. And I think that, I have to say, for my own self, in my own career, Women in Film was absolutely the pivot that happened for me. Right out of school and living in New York, I knew nobody, and someone said to me, "Oh, you gotta, reach out to Women in Film. It's really strong here." And I'm like, "What's that?" And I remember, pre-internet folks, getting a book and having all the members in it, where you actually look up their name and call them on the phone. We did have cell phones, and I remember calling up the administrator and saying, like, "Hey, what do I do?" And I joined. I want to say it was like, God, it wasn't very much money. It's a long time ago. And I went to my first event, which led to meeting people, forging relationships, and my first job in television. And, that's obviously goals for here, is to help people work and meet people and get their projects seen and all the different parts of it, and so it's just essential, the relationship part. 100%.
Great that you mention it, because the networking thing is enormous in what we do. And I'm not sure that all the members understand that. It's not that I think that they join and they immediately imagine they're going to have all these things happen to them. But there's some people that are more, it's the difference between being extroverted or introverted, and how you kind of dive into getting involved with the organization.
Right.
And one of the things that we often talked about among our board was drawing in the introverted people, the people where networking isn't second nature for them. Right. And how do we involve them and get them, connected to the people that can make a difference for them, because that's a huge part of what the organization is. And so, we are always encouraging people, and I know this is going to be a big cornerstone of what you're doing. We're always encouraging people to volunteer a lot. That's how we get to know everybody. That's how we get to know who would be good, because oftentimes us on the board, because we are pretty connected with what's happening, we can say, "Oh, you know what, that person is doing dialect coaching, and this person's doing a dialect piece that they need, that we should introduce those two people." So we're hearing about this, and we're able to make those kind of connections. So it really is a question. It really is a factor of, you get into this organization, or you get out of this organization what you put into it. And so we really want to encourage people to get involved, meet themselves, even if they're not particularly extroverted people, get to know the people.
It's when I was teaching at the film school at Santa Fe University of Art and Design, I taught a producer advanced production class, and part of it was, that hurdle of, all these young kids who were like, "But I don't like to go to cocktail parties. I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to do, and I feel weird," and whatever. And it's like, okay, do you want to get your project done? You got to get over that, and you learn how to do it. And you think that you're just going to some mixer, but you don't understand that that mixer could be the opportunity for you, where you actually meet the person who's the exact person you need to meet to get you to that network executive, or on a project, or, "Oh, I heard about somebody who's looking for that kind of script," or whatever the case may be. And when you don't go, you miss out on that opportunity. And so that's why these things seem frivolous, and perhaps maybe, or, well, now they seem really great because we haven't been able to do it. But they're really important. And I have to say, gosh, you just never know when you're going to meet someone that's going to take you to that next place in your path. And you've got to get yourself out there, and you've got to get to the pro level. Meaning, if you have a production company, you got to do the business cards and the website and go to the events, and you got to pay for the booth at the thing, and it's like, you've got
your LLC together.
Yeah. And we want to help as an organization, but you got to help yourself too. and get yourself to that pro level so that, you know, you can be recommended because you're putting yourself out there for the opportunity to happen, you know? So.
Yeah, well, you know, when we started the happy hours, the get-togethers last year, and they were wildly successful. I mean, beyond our wildest dreams. You know, the first one we had at the El Dorado Hotel, the Gave Lounge, we probably had 23, 24 people show up, which was great. But I didn't know really what was happened was all kind of just start sitting down and talking about what they're working on. And after, you know, 20 minutes, there was this cross-pollination that just was popcorn exploding. It was like, oh, you need to meet her over here because she's doing this. And that was fantastic. Now, I think the potential to do that and continue that in a Zoom format might still exist. Maybe at the beginning, it's more about how are you handling things,
Right.
you know, kind of sharing mechanisms for this time, because not too many people are deep in project land.
Right.
But, you know, like those breakout rooms that allow 4 or 5 people to get together and kind of share information and then switch them around, that technology exists.
What you're describing is the definition of synchronicity, and this is how it all happens. I think now in the downturn time, we've been given this gift. So if you're a writer, a producer, and you're working on development, if you're seeking scripts and projects, if you have ones you haven't had the time to hone, show to people, if you're an actor, you know, sharpening your skills, if you're, you know, whatever it is that you do in the business, is it reaching out to somebody, you know, that you haven't had time to run your idea by, or hey, you know, I'm a location manager, I just really like to work with you, you know, can we have a chat on Zoom? I will buy you a coffee in the future, but but you know what I mean? Like, take the opportunity now to just go for it and hone, sharpen, get your business together, all the stuff that you don't have time to do. Because let me tell you, from the people I talk to in the business, and I'm sure you have too, when we're allowed to safely be on sets and work again and be in meetings and pitch and all that stuff, you know, it's gonna go like wildfire, and you want to be ready. So don't miss this opportunity. I would say to people to ready yourself and be prepared with all of your projects, have them ready, get your sizzle reels ready to go, get your team together, contracts, contact those attorneys to get your talent holds and all your stuff in place so that, you know, when it's time, you're ready and you're off, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's a great point. Yeah, because it really is going to take off fast, you know, and especially we have been, I know I have been unbelievably dependent on diversionary entertainment. You know, I finished Netflix, so you know,
I've seen it all.
you know, it's like in a time of trouble like this, and every time in our country since the birth of film, we've gone to these kinds of entertainments as a way to tide us through it, you know, to distract us, to, you know, to help us through. And we're doing that tremendously right now. So I think that there's more of an awareness of the need for stories, you know, deeply connected entertainment, you know, through all sectors, socioeconomic, all around the world. And it's like, so the value is obviously huge.
Yeah.
And when it, you know, and I just wonder if there's going to be, you know, mini series about pandemics, you know, if there's going to be about living like we just have been going through.
Well, you know, I have to say, again, silver lining of a global pandemic, stay at home, but you have the technology is, you know, it's twofold. You are watching all this stuff. So as filmmakers and TV makers and media makers, I mean, ingest the content, hone your, directing skills by watching things, your writing things, watch how the classics are done. I see so many lists on social media of like top 100 films, top da, da, da for teenagers, top whatever. You haven't had time. You're what's your excuse? You haven't seen The Godfather. You haven't seen all these classic films or whatever, or female directed films or scripts or whatever. It's all out there right now. Take this time. No, I'm watching a movie a night. I'm watching a miniseries a night. What else am I going to do? But you're learning by watching this art form. So it's that, and it's also okay. What story do you want to tell? Because, like you said, the content is we're going through it at a rapid rate. The demand for content will be greater than probably it ever has been in the history of our industry. So have your stuff ready. If you're a writer, get to it, because you actually might get in the room with it to pitch now in a way that you haven't before, because they really, and especially, women's stories and anybody who's not white male. I mean, I'm just going to say, quite frankly, because that's what we've been ingesting for the last 100 and so years of the film industry. Now's the time to tell your story, because people want to hear it. I know I do. I'm really sick of certain type of storytelling. I like, I infamously said on my podcast, like, I can't go through watching another, and no offense to this movie, but Ford versus Ferrari, I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I couldn't do it. It was 150 men, one woman, one female character. It was a stick figure, no complexity. And I know it won for film editing at the Oscars, and it was I Love Cars, really exciting. But honest to God, I am sick of that story. Or at least tell it from a different point of view, or something, or include us. We're people, we're half the human race.
One of the things that I hope you'll consider doing, and it was, it's come up for me in thought the last couple weeks, is this great new film, The Assistant, that just kind of got buried. It was about basically a young woman right out of film school who gets a job being somebody like Harvey Weinstein's assistant, and how she ends up facilitating his criminal behavior and getting put in super compromising positions over and over and over again. And I think that this would be a great film for us to screen, for New Mexico Women in Film to screen, maybe through CCA, because I understand that they're doing online screenings now for special events. That's something I think to look into, because that's the content is just so rich for us right now.
That's a great idea. And there's so many films. I mean, who knows how long this is going to last? And I mean, there's so much stuff out there that no one's seen, and really speaks to what we're talking about right now. I mean, there's so many that come to mind. I'm all about what you're suggesting, but just to get to where we're headed, I hear a lot of different things. I mean, when you listen to Bill Gates, like I did the other night, he's saying, okay, until we have a vaccine, nothing will ever get back to normal in terms of work, because there's no guarantee to be safe. Now, how's that going to happen with testing and all of the special things that have to occur, and they have to come up with it, and we're not there yet. I mean, maybe with the heat, and if we can get the curve down, we can somehow do some partial filming. If you can prove, this is my dog, if you can prove you're well or immune, or I don't know, I don't know how you do it. It's going to be very interesting. And when I talk to union leaders, they're just like, unless we can guarantee safety, you're not doing it. And the fact is, we just don't know how this virus is going to play out. It's day by day. I mean, I hope we get to work this summer. Oh God, I really hope we do, but I don't know,
Yeah. So I'm curious, what are you doing work-wise? I mean, one of my big coping mechanisms in all of this is try and pick a project a day to do, whether it's just break down the cardboard box in the garage, or do a music video, which is I'm getting the chance to be incredibly creative in film right now, which is a huge bonus for me. I'm doing a music video with Donna Lou Stevens, who I did Older Ladies with. I'm editing this very funny new parodies she's got together. And then I just put together, I'm in the process of editing a promotional marketing video for an internet company, for a social media company. And what's interesting is it's a kind of a talking head documentary. And of course, I can't go and shoot them like I normally would. But what I'm doing this weekend, I created a tutorial about how to shoot yourself and how to mic yourself and how to think about lighting and, background and everything. And I sent this tutorial off to everybody, and they're off doing their own thing now. These are people who've never had cameras.
I have a copy of that.
I know, their little iPhones. Yeah, absolutely. Their little iPhones and their little, microphones, and they're making it work. And I'm getting this footage back, and it's totally usable. I can figure out how to edit together a marketing promotional video.
What you're hitting on is exactly what it is. And that is, okay, so content is still being made, and you're asking me what I'm doing. And I mean, it's really outside of the box thinking, but necessity, mother of invention thinking. Whereas, all of these events have to happen. All of the film festivals, or let's say somebody has their major fundraiser, weddings, or, whatever the case may be. And it's like, or your open mic night for a comedian or one person show. How in the hell are you going to continue this? Because if you don't continue it, you're out of work, and people still want to be entertained. So it's moving to a virtual world, and we're all having to pivot as producers and writers to exactly what you're saying, which is teaching people how to do it themselves, because you can't go send a camera crew over there, and you're getting the best thing you can. We're learning the technology. You're packaging things into shows. I'm working on 2 shows right now. They're virtual, and it's wild. It's a completely crazy experience to talk to people who have no business filming themselves, but I don't have any choice. And I have to get them the right equipment for their phone and whatever to do it. And we're going to get it, and we're going to cut it together, and we're going to put it on streaming service, and it will be amazing. It's just another creative, section of your brain that is not the traditional stuff. But if you do have the traditional experience, it's all the same thing. I mean, like I have years worth of live shows that I produce. And I'm kind of just putting that live show experience into play right now, but it's for streaming, and then the people have to do it themselves. But we're just going to make it work. And I mean, I don't know, you see things all the time where that beautiful John Krasinski thing he did with this kid, Something Good News, and they brought all the Hamilton, together, and people are I love the creativity of it. Because it's so surprising and fresh and new. So there are some aspects to this that are interesting, creatively.
Yeah, I think that there are opportunities here. Yeah. And this whole idea that we're just all going to go and work from home now, that was the fantasy that everybody was engaged in, was so it wasn't taking into consideration at all the incredible levels of stress that people are going to be navigating, in closer quarters with other people, all of them having different things, kids in school, this stuff. And that, I think that was one of the cruelest things that we've been navigating lately, is this idea that we should be able to do this better. Like, we should be good at handling this because we're just working from home. We're just working on the internet. Right. And it's not. This is, I read today that this is truly considered a traumatic event. This will be a thing that people have post-traumatic event, post-traumatic stress from.
I mean, so, right now, the people who are working parents, okay, and have to take on that burden of teaching, that you're basically becoming a teacher of your children. And especially if you have younger kids, I feel somewhat fortunate. I have teenage kids. I just have to police it, okay, and make sure they're doing it, but I know they will do it. I don't have to hover. But imagine if you had an elementary school children and several of them, and you are literally the teacher, you're cooking the food, you're working, you're trying to make it be okay. You're scared out of your mind about disease. How are you going to pay for all this stuff? How are your career going to be furthered? You know, all of bank your house payment, you know, it's so much, and we are tapped out. All of our adrenal glands must be so fried, but so we got to stay, you know, healthy. And I think, you know, keep communicating with each other. We're not alone. We're all in this together, and reach out. You've got this Zoom, you've got this, you know, FaceTime and all the different social medias to connect, still have the human connection to keep going. There will be an end. There will be an end to this, and we will be okay. It's super hard right now. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that, you know, it's really hard. And yeah, some days are better than others, but you know.
Well, that's the thing, you know, I mean, you can, my strategy has to keep my spirits up has definitely to be active, you know, to try it, like I said, try and do a project a day, whatever it is, whether it's, you know, editing for somebody else or else it's just, you know, cleaning out the cabinet under my bathroom sink. You know, it's something that makes a difference and makes me feel active. Now, the whole idea that, you know, people say you should get out of your pajamas and take a shower and do your exercises or whatever. It's like, I don't know, I've been so good on that one. But, you know, it's like, I can see that it's important to get into some kind of routine just because this is a long haul. We're really looking at a marathon, not a sprint, and everything that we can do to keep our spirits up through this and to feel connected to other people. Yeah. That's what's going to get us through it.
And reaching out to your family and friends. I mean, you know, I felt really good about talking to my dad today, you know, and he's in that high risk group, and he's had some serious health issues the last few years. And it's like, you know, I just worry about all the people in my life who are in that, and I want them to be safe. But I think after you talk with them, and especially having this technology where we can see people, it's wonderful. Like, I'm sitting here with you and I visually feel like I'm in your home office and I'm with you. It's so different than just having a conference call with the voice. Maybe social media is finally coming into its own of what it's really supposed to be, which is the raw, real docu-style people telling it like it is, and not this, what it was before coronavirus, which was, oh, look at my life. Let me
stage this to impress you.
Yeah, but it's not real. And now we are so real. It's ridiculous. I like it. As a documentary filmmaker, I like it. You know, I like it. I'm so much more interested in what people have to say because they're just kind of like not sugarcoating anything. And I don't know. There's a lot of good comedy right now. That's the other positive. I can't believe the comedy and how good it is right now.
It is very good. But it's so interesting when I'll watch a Netflix comedy special from, you know, that was shot last year, and the comedian will be going, "Can you believe how crazy it is out there?" And I sit there thinking, shaking my head going, "You have no idea."
Yeah, I know. It is weird. A friend of mine who is a executive producer at Animal Planet was joking on Facebook, and he was like, you know, how are we going to make shows as a storyteller from now on going forward, because we're so affected by this. There's the world before. If you're making a modern show, whether it's scripted or docu-style, it's like moving forward, everything's going to be different. There'll be life after the pandemic and life before. And I'm like, well, lucky for me, my favorite show is in the 1700s, so no problem. But you know, it's just, that's really something I never thought about as, you know, as a writer. It's like, okay, do have some modern stories and some TV shows And how are you gonna, it's almost like those have to be changed. The stories, specific parts of the story have to be changed, because what if we're here a year from now, God forbid, and you know, it's
Well, yeah,
not.
I know. I was watching Silicon Valley the other day, and these people who didn't even know each other just walked right up and shook hands and hugged. And I'm like, what are you doing? And that's in like 2 weeks, that subconscious thing has filtered in. So
Right.
things are changing. But I wanted to interject that we've got an audience comment. So I don't know if
A comment.
Yes, we have a comment. Yeah, so actually, Kat Jones, who, by the way, this is a great time to plug, is hosting our first online brown bag lunch and learn, lunch and learn this month, which will be on April 21st. And so please visit any of our social media pages. And I also put the link to the event in our chat here on live stream. So you guys are welcome to take a look at that. Kat will be hosting and talking about her production of hatchlings, which she used her scholarship money for.
Yeah,
But she,
No.
yeah, she brought up a great comment, which also talks, I think, a little bit about kind of the future of women in film and kind of what we're looking to do going forward. She brought up a great class or a workshop series for us would be how to become a pro. So your thoughts about that kind of conversion to professional status for our members and how we can better support them in a workshop series.
Well, I could not agree more with that. And I think that, it's this place where you have to really ask yourself where you are in your career. Okay. And I mentor a lot of people, and I love it, but I do get burnt out on it, and people, benefit from that, and that's great. And then I think to myself, okay, at a professional level, who's going to mentor me, or who's going to help me with where I need to go? Because I still need to go places, for sure. You never stop learning, you never stop evolving, you never stop shooting for the stars in your career, obviously, and you want to make great stuff. So to answer that question, I mean, that's definitely something we're talking about right now in our with our new board, and for the future of the organization, and how can we better do that, and how can we be this place for people where Kat is, right where you are right now, Kat. And that is, you've made these incredible shorts, and you're a very accomplished actor and producer now. And how can you take your stuff to the next level? Like, when are you going to make your first feature? And how can people help you connect and do that? And when you do make your first feature, how are you going to get funding? How are you going to get distribution? And it's really making people think, and in a workshop scenario or many other ways. I mean, I hope to definitely gather the minds of the people who are doing this right now to share their experience, their knowledge, and that will be a benefit of being a member of Women in Film. And one of the things we really want to do is increase the value of being a part of this organization, and that will be, like I said, networking on that pro level to be able to go to an event or some kind of thing where it's like, okay, if you're a member, you can call any of these people on this roster and know that they're going to take your phone call, and you're going to say, look, I'm doing my first feature. We just wrote it. What do you think? And they're going to give you that advice for free, or because you're a fellow, member, and they're going to help you, or give you that name of that person that's going to help you get through the agent to get to the network to do whatever. And I think that, that's something we haven't done, and it's absolutely necessary. One of the giant dilemmas of New Mexico is the constant argument between many factions of the ATL versus the BTL, and people just come here and they use us as a cheap labor force for BTL below the line, and we're not, being recognized for above the line. Okay, that's a massive conversation I'm not going to get into right now. But if you come to some events, we will discuss in detail. But I will say that the problem is that there's really nowhere to go if I come in from LA or New York or whatever, and I'm a big production and I'm scouting and I'm at that place where I haven't hired everybody, right? And I'm looking and I don't know about New Mexico, there's been no place to go that's going to tell that entity, or we don't, you know, as our organization hasn't been marketed as, oh my God. But I have told people this verbatim, many people, contact Women in Film. They're the best organization. They will point you in the way of where to go on this with this question. And it's kind of like, oh, I want to hire people. You know, what do I do? Are there any good people in New Mexico? I don't even know. You know what I mean? And it's answering all those types of questions so that when the people do come here, or you know the people, there's a member that knows the POC or the you know, one of the producers, and they call you and go, okay, I need this many, you know, is there anybody I can, because I want to get the incentive and I want to use New Mexicans, but do they have any top level people? And when you're in that position to suggest, they will hire, they will let you hire. And I've been in that position and I've been able to hire New Mexicans on, you know, major TV series. And that's really a powerful thing. And we have to join our forces and help each other out. And, you know, that's the next level. That's the next level of where we need to get to helping people, you know, get to those things. I can't hear you, Christine.
I was going to say that to that end, one of the things that we were doing last year was we were in a conversation with our last year's SAGE Award winner, Karen Ochoa, about how to do just that, because she's, you know, definitely at the pro level, and she wants to make sure that pro levels people are enticed to be in and stay and be involved with the organization as well. And so then the question was, let's get talking to Liz Pecos over at IATSE and Kelly Boudreau, their business agent. And so creating a kind of synergy of conversation between the pro players about how do we do that has been a big topic of conversation for us. So I think
it's a big challenge. Do I think that we can achieve it? Yes. Now, the interesting part is going to be because of a worldwide pandemic and our industry ground to a halt right now. When we do get back and start working again, New Mexico is a major player now, and I hope with our current administration we stay there. They support film, and everyone has got to be active in these, you know, whenever there's some kind of thing with some finance committee at the Roundhouse or whatever the case may be to do support for film in New Mexico, you must show up. Bodies are everything, even if you can only write an email or whatever. And we got to keep the industry here, number one. And you know, we were on that road in a great way before this happened. And I know we will continue on it. And then, you know, when we start making all this stuff here again, it's just going to be a question of, you know, it's getting the word out about who we are and what we're doing. And the problem is that still people don't realize, I don't think on the whole, it's not common knowledge. Oh, New Mexico, yeah, they got an amazing workforce from top to bottom. You go there and you're going to get this great deal and blah, blah, blah. And there's really talented people. That is not the norm. Now, if you've worked here, and lots of places like Netflix, NBC, the major media partners, you know, they know that because they've been doing stuff for years. But is that everybody? No, it's not. And there's so many people, you know, like Disney, for example, you know, they came and they did Stargirl, and they had a positive experience and they made a great piece. And now that they've launched Disney Plus, they're going to come back to New Mexico, and they hadn't been here for years for various reasons, which you're not going to get into. But anyway, you know, it's like, okay, they're on their road to getting that we're this great place to shoot and we have good people from top to bottom. So it's going to take a while to get the word out. It's really marketing, in my mind, our state. And when we do these big events, like, you know, when they did the Deadline thing not too long ago, and we have people like Kat who win awards at festivals around the country, and we get a name for ourselves for our own filmmakers. That helps us. You know, Breaking Bad was the greatest marketing tool we've ever had. And, you know, I talked to people in Italy the other day on a project, and they're like, yes, Breaking Bad, do you live in Albuquerque? You know, and it's like, you know, it's just, everybody knows it. And so fortunately for us, we're on the map, but we have a lot more work to do with that. We have to really get people to understand the depth of what we have here. You know, they have an idea, but they don't know the depth. Not everybody. Does that answer your question?
That was great. I'm looking forward to seeing Kat's brown bag lunch and learn that we're going to do virtually on the 21st. So I hope people will tune in for that.
Which is great to do it virtually, because how can you're at home? We know you're at home. Crap, stay around it. No excuses.
Easy to bring your lunch.
Yeah, right. You can even do it in front of your refrigerator. It's fine. No one
And
can.
is great perspective about doing your own production, you know, festival circuits. I mean, her and really what she's done on her own. It's just, we found that the most beneficial thing about these brown bag lunch and learns, and just to interject, you know, this is what we hope, I think, you know, that more people across the state will start seeing the value of what New Mexico Women in Film, even our smallest, simplest classes and opportunity events have to bring to the table. Our brown bag lunch and learns, you know, the times that I get to sit in on them, and we usually right now have been having them in Albuquerque and Santa Fe, but this is really driving us to think about, maybe we should always be offering online stuff so that people across the state don't have to worry about the location. They just know they can be there. Is because the feedback you get is so valuable, and you learn best practices, you know, failures, and you learn so much about what it is to make a feature, a short, a documentary. I mean, we've had all topics, all types of different hosts, and just, you know, people that have taken advantage of our scholarship program and really shown how they put that money to good use. So really definitely join that. Just short plug.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Lag. I can't express enough to you the importance to me of reaching across the state. I spent years talking to filmmakers, film workers, writers, you know, in Las Cruces, especially in Farmington, in Taos, Roswell, all across the state. We have film workers and filmmakers, and they have stories to tell, and they want to be a part of this. And I think in this virtual world that we perhaps should definitely go to on a regular basis, you know, giving them the chance to see something like Kat Jones and hear her speak, because she's a mini celebrity here, mini mogul in New Mexico, local girl done good, you know, and, you know, that's inspiring. And, you know, if she can do it, somebody that's in Clovis can do it. Okay. If you have a dream, I've talked to people in Clovis. There was this young woman one time who called my office, and I was like, so what's your deal? Just give it to me straight. She's like, I'm a writer, but I'm down here and I'm like, okay, you know, you got to start doing A, B, and C. And I want to, you know, provide, our organization can be the type of thing where it's like, you know, we need to build an archive of master classes and our brown bag lunches, and have all this stuff on video so you can see it on YouTube. And these will be, you know, member benefits. You can teach yourself. It's incredible business, because yes, it'd be great if we could all go to film school, but we cannot. So it's really Luke Skywalker, okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi situation. It's a master apprentice. That's what film is. You can learn and you can do it yourself. You know, if you have a story to tell, you can do this. So we should be at the forefront of that, and we will be.
Nice. We don't have any other questions in the audience right now. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to share?
No, other than just tagging on to what Lisa said, there is a fabulous new opportunity here. We had talked a lot about doing events virtually and trying to Facebook Live things and do all that kind of stuff. And it was problematic. We couldn't quite make it work. We felt like we wanted to serve the whole state, but we couldn't figure out how to do it, you know, with the technology. Well, guess what? We have to figure it out now. So there's the
That
opportunity.
time has come. We're living it. We're living it now. But yeah, I mean, I get really excited when I think about reaching anyone in New Mexico, and knowing that they can contact us and that we're all inclusive, to all the people out there. There's so many colleges right now where, God, you know, their programs are getting cut, you know, different things happen. And then, you know, with our law that passed last year, you know, they have this great give back program that we have in the state. And I've been privy to, you know, watching departments that were about to close stay open, and in those smaller towns and universities across our state, they get to still do what they want to do and, you know, make their projects. So, you know, we need to be there to support them too, not just in Santa Fe and Albuquerque.
That's great. Well, I mean, I was so sorry that we had to cancel the Nina Mankus event in March, but I know that she can do it virtually. That was, we were going to Skype her in to the to CCA. And so I can't imagine that she's not figuring out right now how to be able to give this presentation to large groups via platforms like this. So we're going to keep that thought alive. And if that, if we're not back in proximity with each other in you know, any kind of timely way, but do look for that, because I think we'll still be able to do that. And boy, talk about an important thing that we all need to be thinking about, which is how the cinematic lens has impacted, you know, how the world views women since it started. So
Really
that's really
powerful and important conversation to have, and we'll do more of that kind of thing, and we will figure it out. She'll figure it out. We'll get it out there and see that film and have that talk and more like it, because we have to, part of being pro is being part of the conversation and being on the global film conversation as a whole. And, you know, we are New Mexico, yes, but we are part of a community that is the world. So we got to be in on what everybody else is talking about too. So we want to bring that to our members also.
And speaking of that, one of the things that I got, that I loved so much out of being involved with New Mexico Women in Film, was the connection that I made with Women in Film and Television International, which all our members are a part of. And we're in a deep conversation with them now. And I know that that's continuing on with your representative on your board, talking to the WIFTY folks about how do we best involve everybody so that they feel like they're getting the benefits of being involved in an international organization, whether that's going to things like special events at foreign film festivals, at international film festivals, or, you know, which is a fantastic opportunity for being able to meet people that are doing the kind of work you're doing and create that networking that may happen in Greece or Sweden or Israel. You know, all these things are possibilities, and it's a very exciting opportunity to be involved with Women in Film and Television International.
I love that part of it, and I can't wait to get more into that. And it's just, you know, we're all one, Christine. You know, and we're in this together, and I know it's hard, but we got to keep creating, not give up. And when we come out of it, we're going to come out swinging. It's going to be great. I'm excited about that. And I mean, of course, the most important thing right now is to keep your friends and family and yourself safe. Stay home. We're going to ride this out. But while you're there, you know, think about all this cool stuff we're going to be able to do. And we're working on it now. And as an organization, this downtime is actually helping us to really define who we are, what we want to do, how we can best serve the community. And we want to help you make your projects happen ultimately. And whatever place you are in your career. And that's what we want to do. So, and we want to help women. We want to help female filmmakers. We want to get to a point where we just say filmmakers. It happens to be a woman, but we're not there yet, and it's okay. And we're gonna get there, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, listen, Lisa, I think we're kind of coming to an end here. I just want to congratulate you and the new board. I know that you've got a team behind you that's going to help you so effectively implement this vision. And while it may be a crazy and uncharted time, we'll figure out, I think we're going to figure out how to get through it. And of course, we'll figure that together. That's going to be the way we do it.
I want to do a shout out to the board members. I love you all. I'm so excited to work with you as a team, and I'm just ecstatic that they all agreed to do it, because it's a lot of work. And you know, Christine, because you've worked damn hard on this and dedicated so much time and effort, and it shows. And you know, we're gonna take the baton and continue, and you know, we're gonna make it happen here in New Mexico. Comfort zone be damned.
That's great. Well, thanks for doing this, Lisa. It was really, really fun to do this today, and I'm glad that we got the opportunity to get the word out to everybody out there.
Yes.
I think that your dog is definitely letting us know it's time to wrap up.
It's time for dinner.
Yes. So thank you so much to the community for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end our live stream now, but don't forget to visit us at newmexicowomeninfilm.com and subscribe to us here, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you guys all soon.
Thank you. Bye.